Over the past several months, the C6 has been setting a diagnostic trouble code occasionally that has to do with the active handling system. Specifically, the code is C0170:1F, which means the steering wheel position sensor is occasionally experiencing an intermittent fault. This code has gotten my attention for a couple of reasons. First, the active handling system is a very important system in the C6, and in my opinion, it works really well. I formed that opinion by me intentionally triggering the active handling system at a few different locations that were safe in order to see exactly how the system responds, what it feels like, and ultimately to decide for myself if I trust the active handling system or not. Spoiler alert, I do. I've also had the system kick in several times at autocross events, and I must say I'm absolutely blown away with how well active handling works in conjunction with anti-lock brakes to help keep you, or in this case me, on the track when I'm driving beyond my own driving ability. That having been said, active handling is a very sophisticated system that is made up of multiple components, things like your electronic brake control module, the steering wheel position sensor, a yaw rate sensor, wheel speed sensors at all four wheels, and a lateral accelerometer. If any of those components fail, or if there's a problem with the wiring, or if any of the connectors get a little bit corroded, the system can and will detect a problem and deactivate itself. And some people claim the system can even malfunction in such a way that could cause an accident. Now, I am not 100% certain whether or not a problem with the active handling system could in fact cause an accident or not. However, it does seem within the realm of possibility to me, so I tend to take any diagnostic trouble codes having to do with active handling very seriously.
Toys for life.
The first thing I do with any diagnostic trouble code that I'm not super familiar with is to take advantage of the fact that the C6 is 20 years old. What I mean by that is if I'm having an issue with a 20-year-old Corvette, chances are plenty of other people have already had that same issue, and they may have discussed it on the Corvette forum, and there may even be a technical service bulletin from Chevrolet addressing the issue. As it turns out, there is a GM technical service bulletin from 2007 that addresses this issue, and after that, GM even issued a recall in 2010 for this exact same issue, and what that tells me is that by then GM knew for sure that this was absolutely some sort of a defect or super common issue, and under certain circumstances it had the potential to be dangerous. Starting with the technical service bulletin first, it was dated October of 2007 and it covers model years 2005 through 2008. This tells me that the issue probably started showing up in fairly large numbers to 2005 Corvettes within the first year or two, and since the bulletin was issued in October of 2007, that means 2008 Corvettes were already in production and most likely had the exact same components that are the subject of the recall. The technical service bulletin is related specifically to the exact diagnostic trouble code that I'm getting, and it further limits the affected models to those that are equipped with the telescoping steering column option, which my C6 has. Basically, it sounds to me like the wiring that goes all the way down to the steering wheel position sensor gets tugged on as the telescoping steering wheel is extended, and then the column is retracted and extended, and ultimately that keeps tugging on the connector that connects the wiring harness to the steering wheel position sensor. So over time, as those wires are tugged on and released and tugged on and released, they're kind of pulling at those little pins that are inside of the connector of the plug that plugs into the steering wheel position sensor, and ultimately that movement, or even maybe slightly pulling the wire out of the connector, leads to intermittent connectivity problems between the male and female pins that reside inside of that connection. The fix is to install a clip, which I believe GM had specifically made to correct this issue, and it works by plugging itself into the connector, which locks those female pins inside of that connector so they can't pull out or they can't even move back and forth as the telescoping steering wheel is extended and contracted, extended and contracted. The recall that was issued a couple years later in 2010 only covers the 2005 and 2006 model years, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. The recall says to remove the driver's side closeout panel underneath the dash, and then inspect the plug to see if the orange clip modification has already been installed, presumably by another dealer or not. Or if a different previous fix, which apparently included adding a thin black zip tie and a couple of turns of electrical tape around the wires that are going into the plug, had previously been completed. And again, presumably this black zip tie and tape mod would have been installed somewhere along the line by another dealer as an attempt to fix this intermittent issue. So the first step with my car is to dig in and see if either one of these attempted fixes has been completed on my car or not. Unfortunately, the steering wheel position sensor is located underneath the dash on the steering column itself, and it's closer to the firewall with the engine than it is to the end with the steering wheel. In order to give myself access to that steering wheel position sensor area under the dash, I went ahead and removed the seat, which makes this job a lot more pleasant and a lot less painful. If you happen to be really young and really short or super flexible, or you just enjoy bending your back into abnormal positions, then you can go ahead and attempt this fix with the driver's seat in place.
Lift with your lower back in a jerking, twisting motion. Ah! Oh my God! Call an ambulance!
Step one is to move the seat back a little and remove the covers that conceal the front two nuts holding the seat to the floor. Then go ahead and remove the front two nuts, and then move the seat forward far enough to give you access to the two nuts behind the seat, and then go ahead and remove them. Next, move the seat so that it's about in the middle of its front to rear travel range. Yes, your C6 seats have airbags that are on the side that deploy in the event somebody were to T-bone you. And you don't want to unplug the connector or plug it back in with the battery connected. So next, I disconnect the negative cable from the battery and then spend a couple of minutes removing the seat belt from the seat. Then I do something else or take a short break to make sure a full 15 minutes has elapsed from the time I disconnected the negative battery cable from the battery. Now we can proceed to disconnect the two connectors that are located underneath the front end of the seat. Then, after discharging your hand of static electricity by touching the metal frame of the seat and getting your head as far away from the side airbag as possible, go ahead and disconnect the yellow airbag connector and remove the seat. Here's a closer look at the three plugs. The bright yellow plug is for the airbag, and then there are two other plugs up front needed for the sensors, the motors, the seat controls, and of course the module that are all housed within the bottom of the seat. As you can see, electrically it's insanely busy underneath the C6 seat. And of course it would be a travesty if I didn't take the opportunity to vacuum while the seat is out. Moving on to inspecting my steering wheel position sensor, I'm going to start by removing this front panel so you can see better. Then we have to remove the panel from underneath, which will give us access to the steering wheel position sensor. Okay, now all I have to do is lay a couple of nice thick blankets on the floor here, and I can kind of lay on my back. It'll be a lot easier on the back to try to get underneath here and get to the steering wheel position sensor that's right under here. To remove the front panel, remove the two torque screws that go in directly from the bottom, and then gently pull out from the bottom of the panel and down, and it will unclip from the dash. Then remove the plugs from the gas lid and the trunk deck release buttons, and on this day I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the inside air temperature sensor from the panel, as the connector for it is not easy to get to. Here are the two plugs for the gas and trunk lid buttons and the air temperature sensor. To remove the panel from underneath the column, there are three push-style fasteners you simply need to pull out with the appropriate tool. You can see the fasteners best when the panel's out. Here's 1, 2, and 3, and now I'll just set the panel aside. Now we can get a peek at the steering wheel position sensor. For reference, here is the OBD2 port you might be familiar with, and if you move a little bit further towards the engine, here is the steering wheel position sensor. I'm going to go ahead and remove the black electrical tape so we can get a good look at the plug. Now you can see the plug that goes into the steering wheel position sensor, and I'm going to go ahead and remove it so we can get a closer look. Clearly it's had the black zip tie modification performed already, and the metal pins inside the connector all look to be near the end of the plug, so that's a good sign. But I'm still getting the intermittent C0170 diagnostic trouble code, and that's not good, so let's discuss my options. So here is my analysis of the situation. This is a well-known and fairly common intermittent problem with the early C6 Corvettes. And in the technical service bulletin, GM says to be sure to also unplug and replug the connector into the steering wheel position sensor 3 times, which tells me they think it's a possibility that those little pins inside the connector have developed a little bit of corrosion. And by unplugging and replugging the connector in 3 times, perhaps you're disturbing that corrosion, which results in a better connection from that point forward. My second thought is taking the shotgun approach and just replacing the steering wheel position sensor is a bad idea. First, it's an expensive part, coming in at around $200 if you can even find one in stock. And second, in order to install that new steering wheel position sensor, it's very labor intensive. You've got to remove the entire steering column to get the steering wheel position sensor in place. So labor for this job is going to be up there. My third thought is, of the 2 different fixes that GM implemented, the little black zip tie and tape method versus the engineered plug that does a much better job, in my opinion, of securing the pins in the connector and making for a tighter connection. The second is probably the better solution, and that little clip is available on Amazon for about 20 bucks. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below. My fourth thought is, once you remove the seat and everything you need to remove to get to the steering wheel position sensor once, it really doesn't take that long if you have to do it again. And so the solution that I've decided to go with is to purchase and install that little GM engineered clip into the steering wheel position sensor connector, and hopefully that solves my problem. If that solution doesn't work, then I'm going to go ahead and purchase a new plug for the wiring that goes to the steering wheel position sensor. It's available for around $50 or $60. And literally you have to cut 4 wires and solder them in order to install the new plug. And so that's my fallback method of repairing this in the event the little engineered clip method that I'm about to perform doesn't solve the issue. Now let's go ahead and get that little engineered clip installed, and pay attention because it's a little bit more complicated than you might think. First, I have to remove the black zip tie carefully with a wire cutter, being sure not to accidentally cut any of the sensor wires. Then it's a matter of lining up the little fingers carefully that are in the clip with the holes that are in the backside of the connector. It does take quite a bit of effort for a small little clip, so be 100% sure each one of those little fingers lines up with a corresponding hole in the back of that plug, and push it in firmly until you feel and hear it click. Now I will simply reinstall everything in the reverse order that I removed it, and then we'll take the C6 out for a spin with the AutoFix D1 light connected, and we'll take a look at some live data as we're driving around and turning the steering wheel. Using the AutoFix D1 light, I'll navigate to the anti-lock brake system, live data, EBCM, and active handling so that I can select the steering wheel position sensor data that I would like to graph. After a short period of driving straight ahead, the EBCM figures out where center is and calls it 0 degrees. Then when completely stopped, if I turn the steering wheel all the way one direction, it should be around -500 degrees, and then when I turn it all the way the other direction, it should be about +500 degrees, and it is. Once back in the shop, I scan the computer for new codes, and I don't get any. Hopefully, it will stay that way. That's going to do it for this one, guys. If you learned anything, go ahead and tap that thumbs up below. If you come here often, you might as well subscribe so you get notifications for the next video. And most of all, thanks for watching.